1. The call nobody wants. It was 11:47 p.m. when Aarav Sen received the call. He was halfway through a cold cup of coffee, staring at the flickering fluorescent light on the ceiling of Greyfall District Hospital, a building that always smelled faintly of antiseptic and damp concrete. Working night shifts had become routine for him. A senior nurse with 6 years of experience and a growing tolerance for exhaustion. But tonight felt different. The corridors were unusually silent. The hospital's hum, ventilators, nurses chatting, distant cries, metal trolleys, was absent, like someone had pressed mute on the world. He lifted the phone. "ICU Night Wing," he said softly. A thin, breathy voice whispered on the other side. "They're coming." Aarav frowned. "Hello? Who is this?" Only silence. Then the line cut. He stared at the receiver, a strange chill crawling slowly up his spine. Which patient had access to the ICU landline? No one. The phone on that side had been disconnected 2 years ago after a patient used it to attempt a scam. Aarav knew because he had filed a report. He exhaled heavily and put the receiver down, trying to shake off the uneasiness. Strange things happened at night in hospitals. Confused patients, prank calls, automatic alarms. He had seen them all. But that voice, it hadn't sounded confused. It had sounded warning. Greyfall Hospital's old ICU wing, once famous for handling critical cases, had been permanently shut after a fire incident 5 years ago. No major casualties, just severe structural damage and electrical failure. Since then, the renovated new ICU handled everything. Still, the old wing wasn't demolished. It remained on the 5th floor like a long-abandoned memory. Dark, empty, sealed, almost. Because every few months, night shift staff reported strange things. Doors creaking open, lights turning on by themselves. A shadowy figure pacing the burnt-out hallway. Voices whispering in rooms. Voices whispering in rooms with no electricity. Aarav never believed any of it. He believed in science, in evidence, in monitors and medicines, not ghosts. But tonight, the heavy silence of the hospital was getting under his skin. He checked the CCTV monitor. 4 floors. Fine. Basement. Fine. 5th floor. Static. The camera showed a blur of snow-like noise, jumping violently, the old wing's feed completely distorted. He narrowed his eyes. That hadn't happened before. At 12:15 a.m., the lights flickered. At first, just once. Then again. The fluorescent tubes hummed harshly, and half the corridor plunged into darkness before blinking back to life. Aarav sighed. Not again. Greyfall had an aging electrical system. The generator often tripped during temperature drops. And it was late November, the coldest week of the year. He grabbed his flashlight and headed down the staircase toward the basement. The air grew colder with every step. His breath fogged slightly. The basement always felt wrong to him. Too quiet, too stale, too occupied. As he reached the bottom, he paused. Someone was standing at the far end of the hallway. A tall silhouette, completely still. "Hello, who's there?" Aarav asked, shining his flashlight forward. The beam trembled slightly. The figure didn't move. Aarav stepped closer. The sound of the generator thumping nearby masked his approaching footsteps. "Sir? Mom? Are you a patient? You shouldn't be in the basement." No reply. He walked closer, heart thudding. Finally, the light reached the figure and revealed a mop and cleaning dummy. Aarav exhaled sharply and laughed at himself. Great. Scaring yourself now. But as he turned toward the generator room door, bang. The sound thundered from upstairs. Something had slammed violently. He froze. Another bang followed. Then footsteps, running, above him, in the supposedly locked old ICU wing. Aarav swallowed hard and rushed back upstairs. Security guard Mahesh Pradhan was waiting near the staircase with a troubled look. "Sir, did you hear that?" he asked. "Yes." "What happened?" Mahesh pointed upward. "Fifth floor. I was checking cameras. All went blank. Then I heard something running. Like a child." Aarav frowned. "No patients are on the fifth floor." "Yes, sir, that's why I came down." Mahesh whispered. His face looked pale. And I heard someone crying." Aarav's eyes narrowed. "Crying?" Mahesh nodded vigorously. "Yes, a woman. Soft like, 'Please help, please help.'" Aarav didn't like this. Not one bit. "Where's the other guard?" "Bathroom break," Mahesh said sheepishly. "Tummy problem." Of course. Night shifts were cursed. "Listen," Aarav said. "Did you lock the old ICU wing?" "Yes. I always check before my shift starts." "And tonight?" "Yes, sir." "Positive?" Mahesh hesitated. "I think so. Think so." Mahesh swallowed. "Maybe I forgot." Aarav groaned. "Mahesh." "Sir, I swear I closed it. But maybe the latch slipped?" "Its old metal is rusted." A loud creaking sound echoed from above. Both men snapped their heads toward the staircase. Footsteps again. Slow, dragging, not rushed like before, as if someone or something was pacing deliberately, waiting to be found. Mahesh whispered, "Sir, that's not normal." Aarav grabbed a spare flashlight and exhaled shakily. "Let's go." The fifth floor was colder than the rest of the hospital. Unnaturally cold. Their flashlights sliced through the darkness, revealing dust particles floating like tiny icy motes. The old ICU entrance lay ahead, a double door, its white paint peeling and a sign that read, "Restricted area. Fire damage. Do not enter." The door was slightly open, just slightly, barely a 2-inch gap. Aarav turned to Mahesh. "You sure you didn't leave it like this?" Mahesh shook his head vigorously. "Never. I always shut it fully." A faint metallic clang echoed from inside the wing. Aarav pushed the door gently. It creaked like an old bone. They stepped inside. The corridor was long and dark, the walls blackened with fire residue. Burnt marks spread like veins. The smell of ancient smoke lingered faintly, though the fire was years old. Mahesh shivered. "Sir, I don't like this place." "Stay close," Aarav said. A cold draft brushed past them. And then, "Talp, talp, talp." Footsteps? No. Dripping water. Somewhere deeper inside. They walked carefully. A broken wheelchair lay on its side. Scattered medical papers were frozen midair in time, stuck on charred walls. As they moved farther, a sudden sound behind them made Mahesh jump. Slam. The entry door had closed. Hard. Mahesh scrambled to open it. "Sir, it's not opening. It's probably the wind," Aarav said, though his own voice shook slightly. There was no wind inside sealed floors. Another whisper echoed, this time clear. "Feeble. Female. I can't breathe." Mahesh froze. Aarav felt a chill burn down his spine. "That came from room 503, Aarav said quietly. Mahesh stammered, "Sir, please, let's call the police." "No, if someone is inside, hurt or trapped, we have to help." "But sir, this floor has no power, no patients, no staff, no." Aarav raised a hand. "Enough." They approached room 503. The door was half burnt, half intact. A rusted metal tag hung crookedly. Aarav pushed it open. His flashlight landed on nothing. An empty room. Black walls. Fine ceiling. A broken hospital bed. And then a figure appeared behind the bed. A woman. Thin. Hair covering her face. Hospital gown. Bare feet. Breathing ragged. "Mom." Aarav stepped forward. Are you hurt? Hello. The woman slowly lifted her head. Her face was half burnt, eyes pale,